Hey buddy.
Normal, if it is possible, can you briefly explain the basis for saying that America is on the upswing of power and not the downswing? That is very much against conventional wisdom.
Tracy, the first thought that crossed my mind after hearing that question is that you hate capitalism and, more importantly, that you hate freedom. I can name a laundry list of countries which you can move to that share your sentiment, but if you have comments that might show up on the government's terrorist screens as red flags, please keep them to yourself. Thanks.
I know you are trying to annoy me by playing the hippie card, and it definitely works. I'm way more reasonable than most of the liberal fish lovers I know.
Here's the simple fact hippies don't understand. This country exists because of war. I'm no cowboy, but let's get fucking real. The Revolutionary War is why this country exists. The hippies would do well to fucking recognize that, and show our soldiers some respect. Let's also be completely clear on something. I have been to 21 phish shows and I will be going to 5 more this summer. While I really enjoy the scene and think it is fun, I do not like hippies. And by do not like, I mean border on hatred. Just wanted to point that out.
Shouldn't everyone just care about peace, love, and truth?
Peace, love, and truth. As Ricketts would say. What country you claim? Welcome to America, where no one bothers to give reasonable, thoughtful responses, and people who believe in peace, love, and truth get crushed. First, let us take a look at television and sports because, rightfully or wrongfully, I think leisure time and entertainment are one of the best measures of wealth. Have you been to foreign countries and tried to watch television? With the exception of maybe the UK, TV sucks everywhere and sports are relegated to one, although very large, sport. But even then, nothing compares to the sports market in the US. The best movies come from the US hands down, and we are light years ahead of anyone in this department. This is not something that will change in my lifetime, even if China does overtake the US in overall production, which I do think is going to happen. On a standard of living basis, the US ranks number 13. China isn't even on the list, putting it just behind the high-flying ranks of Namibia, Albania, Botswana, Suriname. The countries ahead of us are what you would expect, homogeneous, European countries where people fight for a 35-hour work week. Do not get me wrong. The United States is on the decline, but we have a long way to fall, and China has a long way to climb before we have this conversation. They will overtake us in our lifetimes in overall production. Maybe they will even catch up in terms of political clout because of their production. But that doesn't mean very much when most of the country will be living in poverty. Not to mention, China's population is aging and doing so more and more rapidly since they only allow 1 child per family, which, by the way, is a very serious problem for a manufacturing-based economy. I actually am hungover, if that helps explain my rant, although I don't think it really needs any explanation except that I love America and I hate France. Seriously. French people suck. They suck. Plain and simple. If I were offered a job to go over to France with riot gear and those sweet guns with rubber bullets, I would probably take it just so I could shoot French rioters. Does anything sound sweeter than that? They should make a video game out of it. Like Buck Hunter. Only you shoot French people scampering across the screen instead. I fucking hate French people. I also hate hipsters. Very close to socialist hippies, but not quite the same.
Yes. A reasonable, thoughtful response.
Not to beat a dead horse, but you are a hippie arguing for peace and happiness. Talk broadly about things that people would want in a utopia but make no practical sense and offer no substantive reasoning. Ever since I lived in Spain, I have dreamed of the day I could go back, actually work during nap time, and crush all the socialists running around living in their perfect little world, taking 45 days of vacation a year and 3-hour breaks in the middle of the day. With 20% unemployment and the euro headed towards parity, the time could be approaching of realizing that dream. I would talk more, but I am too busy making all this money off of a bunch of helpless hippies.
Very thought-provoking and apropos.
I will fucking kill you. You don't even understand.